Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Ja, das stimmt. Ach so. Ja, stimmt. Meine Damen und Herren, herzlich willkommen zu The Stanley Parable. Ich spreche es jetzt einfach mal so aus. Ja, dieses Game soll komplett mindfuckig sein. Und ich wollte schon die ganze Zeit mal spielen. Und es gibt es jetzt endlich auf der Xbox seit, ich weiß gar nicht, letztem Jahr, Ende irgendwann. Ja, und ich dachte mir, wir werden das jetzt definitiv mal anzocken. Und ich habe da richtig Bock drauf. Deswegen, ja, wir werden gar nicht so viel sagen. Ich werde jetzt einfach direkt loslegen. Und ich habe richtig Bock, ich bin richtig motiviert. Von daher, Attacke, auf geht's.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Okay.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
Das ist einfach.
This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Okay.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Oh.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. Sind wir aufgestanden? Oh, das läuft ja in 60 Frames. Oh, das ist ja nice. Was kann ich denn hier? Was kann ich denn hier eigentlich machen? Ich muss mal ganz kurz die Steuerung checken. Also wir können hier uns ducken, damit auch. Sonst mit den Tasten können wir jetzt nichts machen. Okay, alles klar. Was ist das? Das ist Pause. Das ist auch Pause. Alles klar. Was haben wir hier? Ich muss mal ganz kurz gucken, was mit der... Wie ist denn die Steuerung? Ducken. Pausieren. Okay. Ist nicht sehr viel, was wir machen müssen. So. Schön sieht das hier aus. Ich will nochmal zurück. Nichts ist auf dem Monitor. Gar nichts. Okay. Schade eigentlich. Das ist ein schönes Bild da oben. Ja. Hier ist ein... Was ist das? Bleistiftspitze. Alter, mir fällt das einfachste Wort nicht an. Willst du mich verarschen? Alter, wie dumm. Okay. So, hier sind die anderen. Hört sich an, als würde da auf eine Tastatur tippen. Okay, wir gehen einfach mal.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ja, das könnte passieren. Kann aber auch natürlich sein, dass hier irgendwo ein Raum abgeschlossen ist. Achso, unsere Tür ist zu, oder? Oh, ich komme nicht mehr rein. Das ist ja blöd. Okay, scheiß drauf. Ich bin im Meetingraum. Wo ist der denn? Okay. Also bisher weiß ich noch nicht, was hier so passiert. Ah. Oh, jetzt habe ich irgendwas ausgemacht. Hoppala. Puh. Steht da... Was steht da? Puh. Oh, man kann es nicht genau lesen. Das ist ja frech. Schade. So, kann ich das auch ausmachen? Ja, tatsächlich, ich kann die ganzen Rechner ausmachen, aber was bringt das? Also hier, als wären die irgendwie... Weißt du? Also das Spiel gibt es wirklich schon lange. Ich glaube, seit fast 10 Jahren oder so. Oder seit 8. Ich habe das Spiel wirklich noch nie gespielt. Deswegen Ich will hier wirklich alles angucken und einfach mal erleben. Deswegen, wir haben eine geile Zeit mit dem Game. Ich werde es euch sagen. Ich gehe da komplett nackig an die Sache gefühlt. Total geil. Natürlich mit Kaffee, das ist ganz wichtig. Was ist das da unten? Was steht denn da? New City. Aha, okay. Naja gut, komm, dann gehen wir einfach mal hier rein. Was ist denn das Meeting? Ist das hier hinten? Ah, hier ist ein Stuhl. Warum steht da eine Kaffeetasse auf dem Stuhl? Das verstehe ich halt nicht. Kann ich hier rein? Nö, schade.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ja, wir könnten die Tür zur linken nehmen, aber wir gehen die rechte entlang.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ja, genau das war mein Plan. Genau das war mein Plan. Alter, wie das aussieht. Was war überall. Das ist ja zum Glück kein Horrorspiel, hoffe ich. Also, soweit ich weiß, gibt es hier keinen Horror. Das ist gut. Oh, die Lounge. Oh.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Ja, das stimmt. Ach so. Ja, stimmt. Ich habe hier einfach nur gestanden, genau. Hier.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth.
Alter, da fuck, Junge. Okay, krass. Krass. Ich will doch einfach nur, kann ich hier...
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
Warum?
It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Nein, ich will hier noch nur was trinken. Okay, was haben wir hier? Achso.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Ja, okay, wir gehen ja schon, Alter.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Ach, die erste Tür links, oder was? Hier können wir rein? Aber das sieht doch viel angenehmer aus. Ich will mal hier rein. Oder?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ja, das ist richtig. Jetzt ist die Frage, machen wir jetzt die ganze Zeit den falschen Weg oder machen wir so einen Mix draus? Ich find's halt super interessant, guckt euch das mal an. Jetzt mal ohne Scheiß. Was steht da? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay. Also auf dem Taschenrechner, ganz normal. Okay. Was sollen wir machen? Do not jump from cargo. Live while is... Okay. Okay. Ich weiß nicht, ob wir wirklich runterfallen könnten.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy.
Ich
really,
weiß.
I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Okay.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Hä? Sie?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Okay. Okay. Aber wir kommen hier nicht weiter. Wir kommen nicht zurück. Okay, ich kann hier auch gar nicht rennen. So. Alter. Was ist das hier? Kann ich hier durch? Nö. Okay. Sieht... Oh, dunkler Raum.
That's her, Stanley.
Hä?
You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Aha. Und jetzt? Ein weißen Bildschirm. Ich dachte, ich hätte das Spiel gesprengt. Hä, wo sind wir denn jetzt?
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
The fuck?
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
What the fuck?
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
What the fuck, Mann? Was zum... Hi. Kann ich dich anstupsen?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Guten Morgen, drücke... Was? Guten Morgen, Mitarbeiter, drücke... Warum?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Aha.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work.
Ja.
One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Okay. Ja.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful.
Wonderful.
And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Drücke Y und bitte drücke Y, um fernzusehen. Da oben, oder was?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Was bitte drücke, um Zeit mit den Jungs zu verbringen?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths.
Was passiert hier?
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Stanley Parable, okay. Bitte drücke A, um deinen Kindern... Was?
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
What the fuck, Alter?
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. So.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can you tell him in a way that he'll understand? Every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself. How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Ich weiß es nicht.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
The fuck?
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried...
What the fuck? Was zum Fick? Hä? Habe ich das Spiel jetzt schon durchgespielt oder was? Hä? Also nicht durchgespielt, sondern war das jetzt ein... Was zum Fick war das? Aha. Okay. Okay. Ich mache jetzt hier mal einen Schnitt. Ich muss das auch mit der Facecam noch mal ein bisschen testen, ob das so geklappt hat. Wir sehen uns im nächsten Part. Ich werde auf jeden Fall noch mal einen Part machen. War lustig, aber ich weiß noch nicht, was ich so ganz von dem Game halten soll. Ich bin ein bisschen verwirrt. Okay. Vielen Dank fürs Zusehen. Wir sehen uns. Bis später. Tschüss.